Good evening, everyone. It is November 2nd, 2023, and we have had a very green session, a large gap up from yesterday's close, and pretty much no trade under the open today on the S&P. The Nasdaq took a bit longer to get going, and it really didn't move that much. The low to the high there, 0.9%, and really the open to the high, only 0.6%. Compare that to the S&P, over a percent gain from the open, not including the large gap. The Dow also having a huge move, doing extremely well. There you go, 1.12%. Some really strong volume on that move as well. So, in regards to the swing long from about 328ish, that's about 32,900. So up about 1,000 points on that one. I'm going to be waiting for the COT release tomorrow by around 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time to get an idea as to whether these guys have reduced their short positions and this thing is finally back to neutral, and then I can let it go for, I don't know, what is that? Like 3 hour? Yeah, 2.3. Yeah, if we manage to get up somewhere around here, yeah, around 3 hour. So I have my stop moved to the low of this session, and I'm willing to get short the Nasdaq if we break today's low. There we go, nice little. Right now the Dow pressing broke the RTH high. Nice to see. The idea being is that this thing, all these guys have high closed so many days in a row. 1, 2, 3 on the Nasdaq, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the Dow. Rusty even managed to get a bid today. S&P 1, 2, 3, 4 high closes as well. So to me, guys are getting either super long or really covering their shorts. And this is not too unexpected. This was the area 410ish, 418. This kind of, we're expecting bids from around here, and we're getting them. I'm eager to see what the COT data says. Apple earnings weren't amazing, they weren't horrendous. That thing gave back all of its gains and more today. It crapped out after hours. The unemployment data, I believe, was supportive of higher prices in the markets. Tomorrow we have NFP pre-market and then ISM PMI after that. Just given by the fact that right now S&Ps are trading near value area high. We're 4 points from value area high, 5 points from the previous day's high. Dow is breaking the previous day's high. Qs are, here are the Qs. Of course, with that Apple stuff, they're struggling. That was the Apple spike and all that sort of stuff on the NASDAQ. But we're pretty far from the closing high. So for tomorrow, I'm thinking once again that the NASDAQ is our laggard, the Dow to be the leader, and the ES to be decently moving upwards. Now, again, if we break today's low of the day, today's RTH low, if we break that tomorrow on the NASDAQ, I will be getting short against this high. So whatever that is, 870-ish, short 870 against a stop of whatever, 15,000-ish. The idea being is that this thing will crap out. The ES, I think, will maintain some sort of bids. Maybe we break yesterday's low or whatever, today's RTH low. I'm doubtful the Dow really does. I'm looking for a session tomorrow overall where even if we are breaking prior day's lows, I think this will be a buy on dip sort of session, given that we have no structure above us once again. We're likely just going to be opening within, maybe if we don't get a gap, we'll just be opening within yesterday's high, yesterday's close. I mean, that's not a... settlement highs are way below us. Settlement lows way below us. Previous day's low way below us. All this stuff. T+2 close. All this crap is going to be way below us. We'll be opening above a lot of structure. I'll be leaning long. Let's get into that. Let's switch screens over here. Hope this works. Come on. There we go. S&Ps. I'm willing to get long. somewhere around this IB high we had. That's also where we built volume and then ramped into the close. I would be even willing to take long somewhere around previous day's high to the close. I believe if we break this low, you're likely looking at bids somewhere around last week's highs, so anywhere around this sort of zone. That's what I'm looking at for the S&P. I imagine we rally somewhere into this 432 to 433 area, kind of the meat and potatoes of this balance. Actually, if we were to just make a little volume profile here, and until it auctioned and made a new low. This is going to be the primary area, that point of control, 436 and 44 cents. So if we're able to make it back here and sellers cannot hold it down, that's gonna be a bit of a problem. So for tomorrow, looking for us to get into somewhere around here. So if what was today's range? About $4 or something, $4.40. If we make it back to the IB high, up to around here, yeah, it seems reasonable. $4 to $5 kind of range puts us around there. On the NASDAQ, I do have the IB high and where we were churning around as a pivot zone. If we break below there, I think we do break the open. I think we break down. I think we get into yesterday's low, and then that becomes a buy on dip scenario around with a prior week's high or whatever these levels are. Somewhere in that gap, I think we do find bids. Personally, again, I'll be using the YM, the Dow, and not the NASDAQ to get long. Speaking of the Dow, there you go, IB high to kind of this pivoty area, same idea as, similar idea to what I was looking at on the S&P, but yeah, that IB high sort of area to, there we go, IB high to kind of these highs, that's where I'll be looking to get long. Below there, and I think you lose some momentum, maybe you get some bids here where that developing point of control was, but really I think you end up getting into the open, the prior day's low, and maybe even closing that gap, and that becomes the area to find bids, either at that prior day's high, on Wednesday's high, or going down to the weekly high, last week's high, and settlement close is what that will be. So that's how I'm looking at this thing. Not interested in shorts. Oh yeah, if I was to look for an upside target on the Dow, God, I don't know, 340-ish. That looks pretty good, right? Something like this. That looks pretty decent to me. There you go. There you go. That looks like a decent target to me. 339-ish. Let's call it that. What was today's range? Today was a large move. $4. So if we were to hold the IB high around there, get a pump upwards. Yeah, somewhere around there. There to somewhere around here. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. Anyway, that's all I got. Hope that makes sense. Hope that helps. I am looking to buy dips still. I don't think tomorrow ends up being a huge ripper. If we do break yesterday's low, or today's RTH low, sorry, I'll be looking to get short in the NASDAQ. Have a great night. Trade safe.